So, hi everyone. Welcome to AfriTech Fellowship informational session. Just a general run for those of you who are not familiar with Zoom. You can mute and unmute yourself or start your video. If you have a question, you can raise your hand. You can post in the chat. You can you won't be sharing your screen, but you can rename yourself if you need to. So these are the general kind of Zoom guideline. Okay, so I actually realized we didn't update the slide again. So this used to be our team. And for those of you actually fellows on the call from previous cohort, we used to be myself, Véronique Coutier. I'm the project leader and lead facilitator of the AfriTech Fellowship Program. Émilie Jean-Louis used to be the facilitator and event coordinator of AfriTech. She's no longer on the team, so that might be news for most of the previous cohort. But now we still have Angel Carré, who is our facilitator and marketing coordinator of the AfriTech Fellowship Program. As part of AfriTech, we also have a multitude of workshop speakers and facilitators that are not part of the core team, but do help us deliver the program. We have mentors. Also, our speakers are from all around the world, but mostly from the United States, where I was previously a Fulbright scholar and where I worked. So kind of leveraging my past network and my team strength and the speakers and workshop is kind of how we deliver the program for AfriTech. So the main purpose of the fellowship is to empower women in the STEM field through the development of technical and leadership skills, because we really believe that, having both leadership and technical training is essential in having a holistic development to someone's career. It's not just technical skills. How do we do this? We basically empower fellows with the confidence and skill to competitively pursue careers in STEM-related careers. We equip fellows with a diverse and international network that they hopefully continue to grow through the program. We help fellows craft their personal leadership plan, which is a 5 to 10-year professional and personal career plan. We try to really use an equity, diversity, belonging, and inclusion lens for all aspects of the curricular development. We really try to use a mixture of both online and in-person sessions. So these are just some of the way we deliver the AfriTech Fellowship Program. A big part of the program is, however, that isn't here, that it isn't written, but is really centered around the community building. And that's really the relationship that fellows weave with each other, and the lifelong support that they provide to each other is really what we want to create. We believe that in Mauritius, we need to have a stronger community of women in the STEM field. And this cohort, we are actually updating it to STEAM. So science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics related field. We don't take only people in those fields, though. We ask people, if you have a good application and you have a good vision for your future, we encourage everyone to apply. We don't have an age limit. So we have some key requirements, but they are preferred requirements, not required list of items. So we have 4 core themes on which we deliver: spatial technology or geospatial technology, inclusive leadership, project management, and wellness. So geospatial technology is the science of where or location intelligence. And through a series of online and in-person training in the computer lab, we help fellows develop skills. And fellows are also required as part of the program to complete a series of training online, as well as a capstone project for them to graduate in the program. As mentioned, we also cover inclusive leadership training and project management training, as well as wellness training. Why did we provide this on top of technology training? Because like any technology, we need to be more inclusive with how we use it. And women and other historically marginalized groups have often been excluded from the conversation of how to use technology and how to create impact with technology. So through conversations that we have with AfriTech, these are some of the questions we tackle: is how to make technology and projects more inclusive, but how we also can become more inclusive as a leader. Project management is also included because everyone knows that resources is limited when you're trying to manage a project. And oftentimes people that have a STEM training, we're not often trained on how to manage resources or manage project effectively. And that includes resources that are both people, but also more tangible assets. So through a series of activities and goal setting and even the crafting of the capstone project, fellows are encouraged to develop their project management skills that they don't always get an opportunity to develop until they get into the workplace. And last but not least is definitely wellness. Wellness is kind of woven through the program because especially the STEM field, women tend to burn out because of the pressure that is put on women that often succeed. And it is very important for us that we create safe spaces for our fellows where they can talk about issues they're having. We want to make sure fellows feel safe to come to us and share about any struggle. One key thing that I repeat over and over to previous cohort is communicate with us about any challenges you might be facing, because we can't guess what's happening to you. So you need to be communicative. We are very flexible, but we also have requirements to complete the fellowship. So at the end of the fellowship, some of the goals we had for the first cohort, which this will probably change once we've wrapped up the first cohort, because we want our goal to evolve with us. But what we expected to see in fellows by the end of cohort 1 is an overall positive improvement in both leadership and technology skills. We wanted to create opportunities for fellows to get visibility on a global stage through virtual technology conferences, which is coming up actually in July for current fellows. There will be the user conference that you will have access to. But to career and education opportunities through your mentors, through the USA Embassy, that's our sponsor, and have better visualization for your future goal, objectives, and activities as a fellow. But long-term goal is we really want to see all of you on this goal become leaders and take prominent role in addressing environmental, social, and climate justice issues. What I must say is, like, all the fellows that joined AfriTech already had threads or projects that tackle this for their capstone. So I'm excited to see cohort 1 and 2, what they grow into in the future. So what is the availability that we ask of fellow is, if you are selected as a fellow, you must be available, and that's compulsory. You have to be available to attend free full day training from the 2nd to the 4th of March 2023. I highly invite our alumni to basically if they are on campus, to come say hi to us in the computer lab. It's the same as last year. Come say hi, come give some reassurance to the current cohort. You must be available for our Saturday full day sessions that are usually during 9 to 4. But that's kind of rare. We've tried to really do more half day session, which is usually 9 to 4 p.m. And our our sessions, are usually on Saturday, once a month. And all our online sessions are held via Zoom from 6 to 9 p.m., usually on Thursdays. We haven't put final dates and days and everything on this because we haven't finalized all these details, but we are trying to give as much information as we can. So just in terms of cost, unfortunately, we don't have it in our budget to cover traveling expenses. We do encourage fellows to carpool and share transportation as much as they can and to come together. However, we will make sure that we cover all the cost of food. We'll give you as much food as you need to go through the days, so you don't have to worry about that part. And we will cover all the costs associated with the technical training. So all the licensing, it is a free program. I've been asked that question in the past, and I have to reiterate, it is a free program. So lastly, you can scan the QR code or send us an email at afritech.mru@gmail.com if you have any questions. We didn't provide too much information on this call because we really wanted to keep it short and brief, and something that anyone could watch. So now that's kind of my speech. I'm going to leave this on the screen for a bit longer. So if anyone needs to write down anything, they can. I will invite questions from the audience, and you can feel free to raise your hand or post in the chat. We also have alumni on the call, and I would invite you to share questions you might have had as a fellow in the past in the chat, or to raise your hand. Angel, did I miss anything?
Hello, I'm Janisha. I would like to know how is the selection process going to be?
Hi, Janisha. Thank you for your question. Just a clarifying question. So you're asking for how long does it take, or how do we proceed, or both?
Both.
Okay. So the way it works is when you send us your application, we have a rubric, which is a point system that we've created. We take off all your names from applications, and we go through the rubric and basically have a rating system, and kind of have a rating of, we're going to select the top 14 to 15 fellows from the rubric. This year, I'm hoping to have some of you alumni help us with the evaluation process. We have like alumni on the call. And from a timeline perspective, the application close on Friday. Based on how many applications we have, we might see whether or not we might extend by a few days, because sometimes people do request extension, but we try not to give that because we have been open for more than a month now, which, unlike cohort 1 that had only 2 weeks, so we did provide an extension. This time, I'm not sure if we're gonna provide this extension. So if you haven't applied already, I will highly encourage to submit on the deadline on the 24th on Friday. And then once the application closes within the next 2 weeks, so by early April to the 10th of April, answers should already be out. About probably before that, the first week of April, answers about whether or not you are a fellow will be out. Everyone will be notified. Even if you have not been selected, you will be notified. And everyone is encouraged to apply to the next year's cohort. And once you are selected, the launch for the cohort 2 will be on the 29th of April, a Saturday. So there will be an in-person event. And then the lab session, as we mentioned earlier, will be from the 2nd to the 4th of May. Does that answer your question, Janisha?
Okay, yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Vero, you're on mute.
Sorry, my mouse. Okay, Jenny has asked, why has AfriTech decided to combine all the 4 core components in this program? That's a really good question. Because there's a lot of tech training out there. Anyone can have a free ArcGIS online account and do online training. They don't need me for that. And I encourage anyone who is a student at the University of Mauritius to even get a geospatial like an ArcGIS online licensing for training. But AfriTech, for me, what I realize from my own experience getting technical training is a lot of people, you can get many, I'm sure a lot of you have taken a lot of technical training, but you need like hands-on experience working on a project in a safe space for you to really develop your skill set. So having that safe space could only be created, for instance, by incorporating wellness and having some conversation about, the challenges we face in the workplace, in our homes. So AfriTech requires you to bring a lot of vulnerability to the program. Second thing I wanted to say, project management was in there because especially in the science field, like I was saying earlier, we're not always equipped with the tools to manage project. We're not necessarily taught that as part of the curriculum. And most people are actually not taught how to do project management which essentially, even if you're not the project manager, you might want to be able to incorporate elements of these in any project you have so that you're the most effective. And I firmly believe that project management tools can even be used in your personal life so that you have a more balanced life that is not just centered around work, but also around wellness. And inclusive leadership is really the idea that we need to bring more voices at the table, and that include in the STEM sector, and that includes understanding what does inclusive leadership looks like. So the tech piece is the program, the technical piece is really important, but all 4 of them are equally important part of it, and it's really interconnected. So if you're only coming to AfriTech just to get technical skills, it might not be the right program for you, because it is a program that requires you to show up and have conversation and be part of a community that wants to share, contribute, and not just like, it's not, how to say this, it's not just about learning and skills and exam. And I really want everyone to understand that is like, it's more than just like learning skills and an exam, although that's an important part. Anyone else has any comments? Thanks, Jenny, for your question. Or thoughts that are even alumni or about anything that I should mention that I haven't mentioned? And don't be shy. We have a few more minutes. Any advice for any new fellows that that you might want to share? Jenny asked, what is the importance of communicating challenges at the beginning? So the importance of that is if you don't communicate with us about the challenges you're facing, we really can't help you be successful as a fellow in your career. And because the main value of the AfriTech is around the growth mindset that we really try to infuse in the program. But to grow, you have to be communicative. So if you're having difficulties, like with the workload, I know that was a big thing. A lot things happen in your personal life or in your professional life that might get in the way of your learning. But if you don't communicate with us and if you don't show up, we offer a lot of resources like office hours. Every week, we offer access to Slack to communicate with us. You will have our WhatsApp number. So it is, as a fellow, you will be expected to sign an agreement on what we expect out of you as a fellow that you will be sent prior to starting the fellowship. And that is the beginning of this agreement. And as part of this agreement, you are saying to us, you will be communicative with us. We really want you to take this as a professional engagement, but in a way there, I know we are not always encouraged to talk about our challenges in the professional workspace, but that's a big part about bringing vulnerability is being encouraged to share the challenges because we really try our best to be accommodating to fellows within reason, of course, because we don't want to penalize other fellows either. Thank you, Jenny. Anyone else? Any thoughts or things that next cohort need to know? Whether I'm scary, whether I eat people, whether Angel and I both eat people for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I have a question. Normally, it will be 6 months, so it will start from May till November.
Correct, Janisha. And we will have one in-person session per month, and we will have 3 online sessions per month. And each month you will be given one personal work week where you won't have any online session, you won't have any in-person session. You can take that time to work on what you need to work on for the fellowship or anything else you need to catch up on. On average, the commitment that fellows have said it took them for prior cohort is between 3 to 5 hours per week of work, not nonstop throughout the program, but especially at the times where they had to deliver certain assignments like their capstone projects. So, which is, although I do advise that you spend at least 2 hours per week working on your projects.
If ever we are not able to make it for 1 week, for example, if we are traveling for 1 week, then would that cause a problem for that 1 week? Like a delay in the assignment?
Well, here's the thing. For each assignment, there is about 4 deadlines. So we never have only just one deadline. We have like several deadlines, and we try to give multiple deadlines so we make sure that there's progress and people don't wait at the last minute to work on everything. So that's from an assignment perspective. So throughout the the capstone project, for instance, you will be asked to submit a proposal after month 1, and we give you feedback on that, even if it's not perfect. We ask fellows to respect the deadline as much as possible. We have been flexible with fellows. However, as part of the agreement, you are expected to have at least 80% attendance in the whole program. And I also expect fellows, again, to be communicative well in advance. If they have any challenge or commitments that, I don't want to be told, for instance, and it's a fact, we've had this midnight before, people texting us that they will not be coming to a session, mostly because another reason for that is because we provide food for all of you fellows, and we don't want to waste resources. So again, we are very flexible as a program, because we understand that good fellows have competing commitments, because a lot of you are working, some of your students, but we do expect you to show up, because we communicate calendars for the month 1 month in advance. So you will already know what's coming up. And at the beginning of the program, you will already be given all the dates on which we will have commitments. So bottom line to say is we will be very communicative with all fellows about their requirements, but we expect the same. So it goes back to, the importance of communication. Does that answer your question, Janisha?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I think a lot of fellows can attest here, people had other thing going on in their life, but we really try to be understanding. And it will show up in your work. And as for the training online, I can see if you're working on your trainings online. So even if you come and tell me, I've been working really hard, I will know if you're not working really hard, because I can see online what you do on the training portal. So that's why I really want clear communication, because honesty is a big value of the AfriTech program. So Darshana, who is our cohort 1 alumni, said, AfriTech is an incredible journey. Do not be afraid and go for it. It might surprise you as you go along the growth process. As women, we need to be confident and have the ability to show our ideas. Thank you so much, Darshana. It's been really great to see your growth as a fellow. And Anne-Sophie said, before starting the fellowship, I was concerned whether it will affect my work and my personal life, as I thought I will have to dedicate a lot of time to the fellowship. But finally, I saw I could cope with it all. So yeah, thank you for sharing, Anne-Sophie. And it goes back to us really wanting to make sure that we will be supportive of you, because we understand that you have other priorities, but we really want you to grow through that 6 months. And you have no idea how 6 months goes fast. And fellows were scared the first week, and 99% of them were crying the last week, asking for more. So clearly, there's definitely commitment there. Jenny, you had your hand raised.
Yes, I just wanted to share very quickly and say a big thank you as an AfriTech fellow, because I come from a background, especially for all the new ones applying during this period, I come from a background where I'm a non-tech person in a way, even though I attended a lot of technical events. But this is a very pioneering, the first one in its kind, to really empower in tech tools and in a very inclusive manner. Up to now, there is no overcome AfriTech. And for those who are going to embark on this journey, know that despite different life challenges, if you stick to it, you will make it, and you will come out of it with a life-changing experience. And it's a type of program I enjoy also, besides the technical skills, the ArcGIS tools, trying to understand everything, is also how we can use these skills to relate to our daily activities or life projects. And the other part is also how it confident as a woman. Despite I was doing a lot of different things, this type of project actually empowered skills, the skills that I need in this season to be able, for example, to say, okay, I understand something, and geospatial technologies are so important nowadays. In the beginning, I was like, even a little bit intimidated, but up to now, I feel really, really confident, and I've been invited even past the fellowship graduation. I've even been events. I was able to share my journey as a fellow. I was able, to use the skills and to share about the technology that I've learned. I was able to use the technology, the ArcGIS tools, to implement them in real life projects. And I look forward to continue with these tools. And for all those applying, go for it. Despite being a bit scared about what may others think or things like that, whether it's going for you or saying like, but I don't know a lot of things, but believe in yourself, you will make it. And this program is, it's one of a kind. As Veronique said, it's infused with the growth mindset. It's infused with a safe space for everyone to express themselves. And this is really different from any other tech programs that you're going to find. I'm saying it's a kind of, so go for it. Go where the leaders are leading. And thank you so much, Veronique and our team and Gael, even Emily, who's not there, and having created such a program. So everyone applying, at the moment, go for it, believe in yourself. So great.
Thank you so much, Jenny. And I really appreciate Jenny's support as a fellow, but also, encouraging our team to do this work. And I will say, first cohort, I do feel bad for all of you because you were the first cohort in a way, right? But I'm very proud of all of you because you were brave, right? Second cohort will be blessed to have all of you because I know you will be reassuring them and being there for them, which cohort 1 didn't have. Some of them told me they were dinosaurs with technology. And then if you look at the projects they created, I don't know if I believe them anymore. And so cohort 2, you're very blessed because you have cohort 1. And I want you to also appreciate that, they took the first wave of what AfriTech was without anyone to tell them whether or not that was going to be worth their time, because you, as a second cohort, you have this opportunity. I will pass to Chitra. I think she had her hand raised. Chitra, you have something to share?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Chitra. I was blessed to be part of the first cohort. I just want to share a personal experience of mine where I tell you that this community of women, if you're part of this, obviously in the second cohort, is one of the most wonderful things that can ever happen to you. This literally was a blessing. You will find that when you start this process, you'll have a first call with Vero where she'll ask you about what are the things you're going through, about the challenges and the things you want to achieve. And once you end the fellowship, she's gonna again talk to you, and you realize that how much this one conversation and the things you want to achieve manifests itself at the end of the fellowship. I would go to the extent to tell you that it's magical, the things you can achieve by just, having the right people to support you. And sometimes you may feel that with the things that you have to handle, I had a lot of things, and Vero has been the most comprehensive person ever. I mean, more comprehensive than my own parents, I can tell you that. She's been really supportive, and she's trying to find ways and means to make it work, and she really believed in us, all of us. So if ever you're having any single doubt at any point in time that you feel it's becoming difficult, just have a conversation with any one of them, be it Vero, Angael, or Emily, and just talk to them, and you'll find that they'll always find a way out. They'll always find a solution to you for any problem that you might have. So that would be like my personal advice and piece of, you know, of my experience. So yeah, that would be all. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks so much, Chitra. Yeah, and we almost lost Chitra along the way, but I really want to let people know that life, like, understand, like, life happens, so how can we make it work, right? Especially when I see people have the passion and potential. And I feel bad sometimes. Chitra was like, she was always so fast in the lab, and she was just like, okay, I'm just done now, so what do I do? So you obviously like had like really a lot of interest in the learning skills and growing. So I'm really happy you were able to complete the program and not leave. And we have a few minutes, and if anyone wants to say anything, feel free to share in the chat. I want to pass it to Angel, who is on the team also, if she has anything to add, to share any piece of wisdom as the co-facilitator.
So hello everyone, my name is Angel. So yeah, it's really I'm really happy when I hear all the fellows talking about this fellowship. And just like Vero said, the cohort number 2 will be very blessed to have all the alumni of cohort 1, because I remember when we started the first cohort, me, Vero, and Emily, we already knew what the program was. And we were so excited about it, and we were starting to talk about this with people. And people around us were like, okay, what is this? But now it's not just us talking. There's like all this group of wonderful women that's like talking and telling how this program changed their life. And I feel very blessed, like Chitra said, to be part of this community and being able to see their growth. And I look forward to cohort 2 to see how we can add more women to this beautiful community and help you grow as well, and help us grow, because with each one of the alumni from the first cohort, we learned something too. Like the team was growing as well. And I hope that with the cohort 2, we will have this blessing as well. And I encourage all of you to apply. Unfortunately, I'm already part of a team, so I can't apply to my own fellowship. But so yeah, please apply.
Angela is actually an honorary fellow. She was supposed to be a fellow in cohort 1, but just like ended up being more involved in doing everything else than a fellow. But like she said, we have learned a lot. And Catherine says, AfriTech Fellowship is an amazing experience. You will bloom in this community, and AfriTech is always helpful. Enjoy your journey. Yeah, so as you can see, like, it has been a positive experience. I know that there's, like, in full transparency, we have lost certain fellows along the way, like not like literally lost them, like we don't know where they went. Some had like drop out, some couldn't continue, but we also appreciate people coming to us and say, hey, this is too much, like I can't handle it. And that's also something I want to emphasize, but I want people again to be transparent about it. And we will try to have conversation and try and help you stay on, as you know, Chitra said earlier, but sometimes we just respect that this might not be the right thing for you. So don't feel like you're trapped in the fellowship. We really want people to show up, because it was like this every Saturday. Like, I know the first Saturday people were just like leaving, and then in Saturday was supposed to end at 2, and some people still here like 3 were still talking. You know, we end the program and some people just like hang out and talk and share. And I'm sure some of you went afterwards to hang out in places together. And so it's really like the AfriTech doesn't end like at the end, right? So we want this to be a lifelong community. We have plans to make it into like a nonprofit with membership where you can contribute as a member if you want to, or just be here as a resource person to support any new cohort, or not do anything, right? Like we really want this to be a space where people feel free to give out of the joy of giving, not because they have to do something for AfriTech. So yeah, on these notes, I want to wrap up this info session, and I hope it was useful. Like some of you on the call, are basically potential future fellows. Some of you will be watching the recording. So I'm really excited to read your applications, and I'm really excited to welcome our second cohort of AfriTech very soon. And thank you so much to our alums on the call. You are all wonderful people. I'm not yet done with you. We'll be talking a lot this week, a lot of us, and you will still be hearing from us. So I wish you all a very good night and talk to all of you very soon.
I have one more question. Normally, where will it be held?
Oh,
The
the
session.
in-person. Yeah. So we have to finalize this, but we have a space in Beaubassin called La Croisée, which is near to l'Église Sacré-Cœur and SBM. So it's very close to the metro line. There's a few parkings along the street. So if you're coming in a car, and then our launch and graduation, our launch will be at Voilà Hotel in Bagatelle. And our graduation, we don't know yet because that's too far in the future, probably at a similar location, a hotel. So far, we've gone with Voilà, we've gone with Palms Hotel in Quatre-Bornes, but we really try to put it in spaces where it's kind of central as much as we can so that people can access by either metro or like if they're driving.
Okay, yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for all your great questions, Janisha. And I look forward to seeing all of you very soon. Don't hesitate to send out more questions by email at afritech.mru@gmail.com. You can also just send us a message on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn and Twitter. Do we have a Twitter, Angel? Clearly, I'm not doing the social media. No, we don't have Twitter, so don't message us on Twitter. We only have Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. So nice seeing all of you.
Good night,
Bonne nuit.
everyone. Bye.